All right, what up, guys? So we are on the 5th class for the PTR. So we only got one more, which is Necro. It's going to take me a little bit of time to learn that one. But here we are with the Druid build. We went with Shred since we're doing all of the new uniques on classes where we can apply it, except for we didn't do Spiritborn because it's weird. We don't really know where stuff is with Spiritborn. But anyway, this uses that new amulet that increases lupine ferocity. So we went with the Shred build. But anyway, let's just get into it. Starting off with the skill tree as always. We have 2 points in them all here, and we actually use it so that we can shapeshift whenever we want to. Heart of the Wild to Wild Impulses. Then we have obviously 5 into Shred, down to Primal Shred. Raging Shred is getting a change to the way that it works, but I'm unsure about it, so we're just going to call it safe and go with Primal Shred. Predatory Instinct, and I can never pronounce that, but this thing, now it gives you movement speed. 1 into Earthen Bulwark up to Preserving Bulwark, Backlash, Ancestral Fortitude, Vigilance, Bloodhowl, Preserving Bloodhowl, Debilitating Roar, Innate Debilitating Roar. Nature's Reach, even though we don't really do stuff too distant. I just had that there because I forgot that the Storm skills didn't count as, or Werewolf skills and Storm skills with Tempest Roar, had it backwards. So it's just there as a leftover. Take those 3 points, put them wherever you want because I've already hit all the good stuff, I'm pretty sure. 1 into Neurotoxin, and then 1 into Toxic Claws, because the only thing we care about is getting them poisoned. We don't care about how much, as long as they are. And then Envenom. Then we have Petrify over to Supreme Petrify, Catastrophe, Defensive Posture, Quick Shift, Natural Fortitude, all the usual stuff. And then obviously Lupine Ferocity, because that's what the new amulet cares about. Alright, we're going to go over to skills. So this time I actually pasted some changes in. We didn't hit all of them because there's only so much space, but we hit the important ones, I do believe. But as far as the boons go, let me pull up another. I forgot I was going to need this. We have, Prickle Skin. Oh, it actually has it now. In the editing, when you're editing it, it doesn't show you. So we have Prickle Skin. This is being changed to, is this one of the ones I didn't put up? I swear. No, right here. It's being deal 5% increased damage to enemies for 5 seconds after they attack you. If there's an issue with survivability, we'll switch it back to the one that's like 15% damage reduction from elites. But we'll try this with a little bit of increased damage. Scythe Talons is getting changed as well. It's giving you 15% critical strike chance and lucky hit chance. Since this build cares a lot about trying to do consecutive critical strikes, we went with this one over the attack speed. But if we can get our critical strike capped or near capped, then we'll change it back. And then, of course, extra critical strike damage. Wolf, we do bolster to fortify ourselves. When we use a defensive skill, which we have 3. And then masochistic, which is critical strikes with shifting skills, have up to a 75% chance to heal you for 5% life. Witchcraft is the same one that we actually used on the sorcerer. Breath of the Coven, which I didn't actually put the stuff for this in, so give me 1 second here. PTR 2.1, and we're going to F3, and Breath of the Coven, dealing or applying a crowd control effect with any of your witchcraft effects increases your attack speed by X for 10 seconds, stacking once per unique witchcraft effect, and then all your witchcraft effects are Eldritch, Psych, and Growth. And then at rank 8, gain 40% lucky hit chance while bonuses from Eldritch, Psych, Growth, and Decay are active at once, which we do have 1 from each. It's the hexes. And then we have Shaken Soul and Wave of Woe. Wave of Woe just it applies damage whenever you hit them with any skill. It's shadow damage, but we don't really care about that. The only thing we care about is Shaken Soul. Now, because of Breath of the Coven, I'm pretty sure all of these are going to be psych skills to count for various things, including the Occult Gem, which is, I think, Killing Wind is the one we care about. We have 3 or more Eldritch Witch powers slotted, gain 25% movement speed and 15% critical strike chance. It's Killing Wind. Because of Breath of the Coven, it said all of your skills are witchcraft effects are Eldritch, Psych, and Growth and Decay. But that might not count for slotting, so just to be safe, we're going to go ahead and put it there. And then if it does count for slotting, then obviously just change it later. And then these hexes to help with Duststone, which makes you do damage per hex or aura. It doesn't really matter what these do. The only thing that matters is we have 3 hexes, so we do 12% more damage with it slotted. Then over to gear, we have Air Perdition and Shroud of False Death, of course. Aspect of the Blurred Beast. This wasn't on Shred for the last one. It is being changed to... While it's going from while dashing, Shred seeks out nearby poison enemies and deals increased damage to them. Now it's going to just be Shred deals up to 75% more damage, and Shred, this is where it matters, and Shred's first dash lands up to 4 additional strikes based on distance traveled. So if you dash to somebody, you're going to hit them 4 additional times. So I figured that mixed with the 75% more damage made it worth getting rid of Unsatiated. Unfortunately, we can't put it on the amulet slot since this goes in the amulet slot. Then we have Aspect of the Agile Wolf, which is Shred gains a 4th dash attack that hits all surrounding enemies and deals increased damage and knocks them down for 2 seconds, which is nice. So essentially just goes on pants. And then boots, we have Concussive Strikes. Since we aren't using Bestial Rampage, we don't need Wild Heart Hunger, I think is the name of them. On the gloves, we have Shred, Critical Strike Chance, Attack Speed. We really want to stack that Critical Strike Chance. Offensive Werewolf Critical Strike Chance, that is getting changed from Shapeshifting Finesse to Werewolf Finesse, but it is still there. And then Petrified Duration. And then Aspect of the Agile Wolf, I already went over that, sorry. Armor, Max Life, Willpower. With the way I have the board set up, we should be maxed out on our resistances. If not, then you can change Willpower to Resistance to all elements. Or if you have too much armor, you can take off armor. And then we have Armor, Movement Speed, Max Life, and then Movement Speed, and then it'll just be like a chance to do something, like chance to stun, chance to freeze, something like that. Just pick your poison pretty much on that one. Stormclaw's Aspect, Critical Strike Damage, Willpower, Max Life, chance for Shred to hit twice, and then Critical Strike Damage. And Stormclaws just does a bunch of extra damage as lightning damage. Pretty simple. The Hunter Zenith is still a good option, but Retaliation does do more damage, technically. Even though it doesn't apply Overpower, it doesn't require you to have like this countdown pretty much. So we took that off because we also needed aspect slots and stuff. So since we lost the amulet and we have to add an aspect, so pretty much we had to get rid of 2 aspects. So anyway, so Aspect of Retaliation on the ring with Attack Speed, Critical Strike Chance, and then pick your poison on the last one. This is a PTR, so I'm not going to worry about having perfect gear. Critical Strike Damage and Petrified cooldown reduction. And then Ring of Starless Skies, which I know that the other one does 60% more damage, but this is just more straightforward. I prefer that. Like, yeah, you lose 10% damage, and that might matter later on, but I don't know. It's just easy. This just you use your resource and you do damage. It's pretty simple, you know? And then the amulet is the new one that we went over a second ago. Increase in willpower, and that's a percentage. Werewolf critical strike damage, also a percentage. Which critical strike damage is always a percentage, so I don't know why I bothered differentiating that. Movement speed while shapeshifted into a werewolf. Feral aptitude. So we want to have a lot of movement speed as well, so that our feral aptitude gives us more critical strike. I think that's what does it, right? Something matters about movement speed and critical strike damage, and I think it's feral aptitude. Let's take a look, because I'm totally a professional and didn't look this stuff up before. That is not what I wanted. Feral aptitude. Yeah, while above 100% movement speeds, these bonuses can stack. So we want to make sure that we have above, oh my god, English is hard, above 100% movement speed. I don't know where we're at, because where I'm using Mobalytics, we don't have like a bar that tells us how much, and I can't use max roll because then people tell me that they're on console, don't have a computer, or trying to use their phone, and max roll doesn't work for them. So, yeah, where are we at here? Feral aptitude, and then power. The value of Lupine Ferocity's critical strike damage is increased from 100% to 150%. When consecutively critically striking. It's getting changed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Lupine Ferocity. It's going from every third werewolf hit critically strikes and deals 100% increased damage, double to 200 against injured. It's going to every third werewolf hit critically strikes, period. And then werewolf critical strikes deal 75% increased damage. So pretty much what the amulet will do is, as long as you can consecutively hit critical strikes, you'll just keep getting this 75% bonus. Which it'll actually be up to 150%. So we want to get 150% and then just consecutively critical strike for tons of extra damage. And that is it for the gear. We have Ohm and Cry. Ohm to do more damage, Cry to like pull enemies close to us. Just like the other builds, I don't have the ruins. Because they're being changed and I still don't quite understand them. I haven't really tried to look. I just remembered I didn't do the Mercenary, but it'll be the same thing as I always do. It'll be rare. And then Inspiration, and then Marina, Bloodthirst. Yeah, it's always that. One gives more damage, one gives attack speed, so unless there's a reason to change it. Then lastly, we have the Paragon board, which is got the same ruins as the last season, or season 6, so the current season. This is for the PTR though. It's just their order of them has changed, and the order of the boards, I've changed them to be how I prefer them, but there isn't a whole lot of different glyphs you can use. If somebody has something I'm missing, go for it, but I didn't see any better glyphs. I haven't played Druid in a while, so starter board, we have Outmatch. I'm just showing you guys the stuff. There's not really, I mean, I grab every blue node that matters. If there's something that doesn't matter, I'll let you know. But we grab all the blue stuff except for obviously the ones that are just core stats, which are core stats willpower. But I think you know what I meant. We accidentally have an extra node right there. That is gonna bug me. Doing all these edits mid video. Man, I just don't want to have to put it into a video editor. And I already know where this can go. Go right there. Look at that. It's quick and easy. I'm a lazy content creator. I don't want to put stuff into a video editor or have to edit stuff. I hate hearing my own voice as well. So, Paragon board. And in here we got Headhunter, just grabbing all of the willpower nodes. The only ones we don't need healing received. We didn't grab these armors right here. I'm pretty sure we'll be capped on armor. The new Occult gems do give you armor and resistance to all elements. So we come through here. This is Lust for Carnage. Also, this is Inner Beast. Lust for Carnage, and we have Werewolf in here, grabbing all of the willpower nodes. This is where the bigger change was, because they didn't grab a bunch of willpower. I followed the logic of this has 110 willpower, so this is where the Werewolf went in to give us more werewolf form, because I don't know, this is just where it made sense to me. If you put Headhunter here, you lose out on like 40 willpower, which isn't going to be a huge deal. As far as damage goes, you'll lose like 4% damage or something to core skills or something like that, or to skills in general. Not a huge deal. But that bit of damage you lose from that gets made up by the 4 node difference of 44% werewolf damage. So also, this is going on the assumption that you have 300 nodes. If you don't, you can obviously remove points here or here. Here, I wouldn't recommend all of these places, but I'm just saying you can definitely remove these maximum spirit ones. You don't need those. Just stuff like that. Where are we at? One of these is getting changed, or 2 of these are getting changed. I do believe Lust for Carnage isn't changing. Inner Beast isn't changing. It's Heightened Malice. Heightened Malice is just as long as you have a poison enemy nearby, you're dealing a ton of extra damage. We'll take a look at the change here in a second. But yeah, Heightened Malice, grabbing everything except for we don't need these healing receive stuff, and we don't need these armor nodes, but we do grab these resistance, and we have Spirit in here. And then we got Fang and Claw in the last one, which is Ancestral Guidance. This is changing as well, but I think it's just adding like a cooldown, if I'm not mistaken. So, Heightened Malice, while there are 3 or more poison enemies nearby, you deal 45% increased damage. They're getting rid of that while a poison enemy is nearby, period. So even if it's the enemy that we critical strike and our Toxic Claws apply poison, we hit poison on that enemy, boom, we have 35% increased damage. And then you can get 5% up to 4, so you can potentially go to 55% damage if you poison a bunch of enemies. But no matter what, just one poison enemy, 35% damage. And then Ancestral Guidance. After spending 75 spirit, you deal 40% increased damage for 5 seconds, which is normal, and your ultimate skills deal 1% per spirit when cast. That part doesn't really matter too much to us. And then the Werewolf Glyph. Oh yeah, the Werewolf damage is actually going to be more because they're changing it from 11.12 to 16.6% damage. But that is it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all the generic YouTube stuff. We have one more class, and I'm not looking forward to it because I don't know anything about the Necromancer, but we'll try, possibly. There's like a slight small chance that I give up on it because I get frustrated. But anyway, I will catch you guys in the next one, whatever video that is.